Okay, so Practice Provincial B, problem number 8. Order the numbers from the smallest value to the largest value. This particular problem is actually just like number 7, just cleverly disguised. The question really wants you to turn all of these radicals, all of these mixed radicals, well, 1, 3, and 4, into a complete radical. The reason why I want to do that is then it makes it easy to compare them. If our indexes are the same, so if index is the same, indexes are equal, in this case they're all index of 2, then we can compare radicands. Compare radicands to see which number is bigger. If the radicand of one number is bigger than the other, then that number is going to be bigger. If the radicand of the number is smaller, that number is going to be smaller. So, see, big radicand equals big number. Okay. Alright. Now, there's a couple of things to note though. Radical number 1 and radical number 4 both have negatives. So when we convert these numbers from a mixed radical to a whole radical, we're going to leave the negative sign out. And the reason we can do that is I can write equation number 1 like this. Negative 1 times 3 to the root of 2. Okay. This negative 1 tells us that this number is actually a negative number, not a positive number. But we can still do the same process. We have an index as we did in number 7. We have an index of 2, so we can change this to negative 1 times the square root of 3 times 3 times 2. Remembering that this index tells us we can put this 3 into the radical twice. Okay. So number 1 then comes out to be negative 1 times the root of 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18. So number 1 is really negative root 18. So I'll just write it over here. And I'll make my negative sign clear. Negative root 18. Okay. Now number 2 is already a whole radical, we don't have to worry about it. We'll convert number 3. Number 3 becomes root. We have an index of 2. Oops, is that index of 2. So index of 2. So we'll put the 2 in twice. 2 times 2 times 3. Radical number 3 is going to be the square root of 12. Okay, and radical number 4, again, I'll rewrite it like this. Negative 1 times 2 root 7. The negative 1 is just there to remind me that this is a negative number. This will be negative 1 times root of 2 times 2 times 7. So this is negative root 28. Alright, so now we compare them. Which one is bigger and which one is smaller? Well, the smallest one is going to be the one with the biggest radicand, negative. So smallest number is going to be negative root 28. So, negative root 28 is my smallest number. Now that's radical number 4. So looking at our answer sheet, we can immediately cross out A and B. Okay, next. The next one, next smallest number, is going to be the negative root 18. That's the only other negative number. And finally, the next largest or next smallest radicand is going to be the root 9. So that's root 9, because 9 is smaller than 12. Okay, so this would be our answer here. Radical number 4. Then radical number 1, then radical number 2, followed by radical number 3. So that answer is C. And let's highlight the answer in a different color than what I crossed out the other ones in. So C. And let's check. Answer key 8 is C.